Hi there folks, in this video we're gonna go through this document. It's from this link over here. I'll put in the description. It says how to use file descriptors to read from and write to multiple files in Linux. Basically it's about redirections in Bash shell. The first 5 are pretty straightforward, so I'll skip that. I'm gonna focus on the next 4. I'll go through them one by one. This one says it assigns the file descriptor to some file for output. Okay, so it's preparing the file descriptor for output purposes. The next one says assign the file descriptor to some file for input. So you are setting up the file descriptor to do some input tasks. And this one says reads from the file descriptor and stores it into variable 1 in this case. This one says execute the command and send the output to the file descriptor. These 4 are related, okay? Specifically this one, once you set up the file descriptor to output to the file name or some file, you can use this one and send the output of the command to that prepared file descriptor. Okay, this one, once you set up the file descriptor for some input, so input task involving this file, some file, you can use this one to read from that file descriptor. Okay. And lastly, this one, it just closes the file descriptor. Once you have finished all the input output tasks, you can close those file descriptor, no longer in use. Okay, so we're gonna go through these examples. This one, so this one over here, what it does, it sets up the file descriptor 9 for input tasks, linking it to this output of the who am I command. Okay, and here you're using read, so that it reads from file descriptor 9 and save it to a variable name who, and then this one just checks if it's correct. So let me just do that. Yeah, so that's the code. If we run it, gives you Logan, because who am I is Logan. Okay, just tells the current user in use. Okay, the second one, it's an example of using this. First of all, you set up the file descriptor 9 in this case for output to the date.txt file, and then you run the command date, and the output of it will be fed into descriptor 9 and eventually to date.txt. Okay, so let me just clear the date text, make sure nothing's in there, and if you run command and then see if anything's been written, see the output of date command is saved to the file date.txt. Okay, so that's how you can use the redirection to do the input or output task to a file without mentioning the file name, but just mentioning the file descriptors in place of the file names. Okay, this is a big example. Let me just show you. It's gonna use this file called host text. Okay, and we're gonna do some operations on these. Okay, so first off, we got this file called host.txt, and then you use grep to get rid of all the lines that start with the comment, the hash, because those are comments. Okay, so the first 3 lines will be omitted by that command. Okay, by that grep command. And then here we're setting up the host3 file, which is this one. So host3 is the stripped out, comment stripped version of host.txt, and then we set up the file descriptor 3 to be and link it to the host3 file for input purposes. Okay. Contrast. In contrast, this one sets up another file called host final and link it to the file descriptor 4 for this time output purposes. Okay, we've covered these two already, these two cases, the first 2 examples. Okay. Okay, and then after setting up all the file descriptors, namely file descriptors 3 and 4, 3 for input, 4 for output. Okay, it's that simple. And then we're gonna use read to read from file descriptor 3 line by line. Okay, each invocation it reads the current line. Okay, if you do it twice, it will read the next line. Here it's a reading from file descriptor 3. Lo and behold, that corresponds to host3 file. And then from that, from the first line of host3 file, we extract these 3 variables. Okay, they're tab separated. Okay, remember this is the host.txt, and host3 is the version without the comments. Okay, and what the first invocation of read does, you'll read the first line and assign variable address to the first column, name to the second column, alias to the third column. Okay, and after that, after you've extracted those 3 variables, you're gonna echo the name first and then the address and save it to the file descriptor 4, which is linked to host final file. So the effect is you will save this line to the file host final. Okay, only difference is you don't mention the name of the file, you mention the name of the file descriptor, and you do that read and echoing 1 more time so that you read the next line. Okay, and save the next line to host final. And then because you've done everything, you close file descriptors 3 and 4, and this is what you should end up with. Okay, so let me just clear the host 3 and host final, so make sure we got nothing. Okay, and then we rerun the file redax stage, and lo and behold, the host final file is this. Okay, so basically the first column corresponds to the variable name. Okay, the second column variable address. Okay, so that's how you use bash redirections. Most of the use cases involve some kind of file like this, and they're always either input or output. Hope you enjoyed it. Thank you very much.